out of fuel. Returning to resupply.
Oh, this one.
Soldiers ready for UAV overhead. Enemies in Delta, go!
Changing back.
What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be doing a best class setup for the P90 in Modern Warfare. Now honestly, the P90 is a really accurate gun and can one-shot people across the map, as you saw in Ground War in the intro clips. I was absolutely laser beaming people with it, and I couldn't believe it myself, like how accurate this thing was. So I had to make a video on it and just let you guys know that this is really an underrated gun that can really destroy people at long ranges if you have the right attachments. And this is why I decided to do a best class setup for you guys if you are going for those long shot camos and stuff like that, like I was. This class setup is one that you can use for an overall versatile weapon that's good up close, long range, and even, you know, hip firing and stuff like that. So overall, it's a really great gun to use. So let's jump right into the best class setup, and then we'll get into some gameplay with some music and stuff, and just share some of my best highlights and clips with this weapon that I hit yesterday when I was using the gun quite often, and obviously grinding at the camos for Damascus. So recoil control, we went with a compensator on our muzzle straight away because it's got recoil control. Yes, it has two downsides: down sight speed and aim instability. The aim instability, that we're going to get back in some other attachments. Same with the recoil control, and that is something that I do quite a lot with the classes that I make. I try and balance them out so they're well rounded. And let's jump into our next attachment, which is an attack laser. As you guys can see, aim instability is back up, and aim down sight speed is back up, and walking steadiness is up as well. And now we have a laser which is visible to enemies, which only really is a negative when you're on a really dark map, or you play night mode, or night vision MVG mode, or if you're in a really dark map it might show up a little bit more. But honestly, I don't find it too bad, and a lot of people tend not to notice the attack laser. It's some of the players that are, you know, really taking notice that would notice that, especially if you just sat in a corner aim down sight, then they're gonna see it. But yeah, to me, if you're running around and you're aiming down sight all the time, it's definitely a great attachment to have. Now obviously we don't have any optic on here. If you do want to swap out any of these attachments, say the compensator or whatever from the muzzle, or even the attack laser for an optic, then feel free to do so. Put any optic on it that you want. I personally love the iron sights of the P90, and I find them very easy to use, so I don't actually bother to use an extra attachment slot on an optic when I know that I don't really need to, because there is these other, you know, attachments that benefit me more. So obviously that's a personal preference thing. If you want an optic, put it on, but you are going to have to get rid of one of these other attachments that might really help you. So we'll see. Stock, we've got the FSS Heavy Stock Pro. Now obviously there's some other ones on here like sprint to fire speed and walking movement speed with a fly strap, and then there's aim down sight for the force tac CQC comb. But honestly, the Heavy Stock Pro, the extra aiming stability, gives you so much more accuracy and control that it's definitely worth it in my opinion. Now honestly, moving on, we don't have any perks on this. Obviously, like recon would be, you know, something useful maybe at long ranges. If you have a little bit of a struggle in recognizing enemies at long ranges, that could be something you could pop on there as well. But to me, I don't use that. What I end up using is the rear grip granulated grip tape, which gives you plus on aim stability and a plus on aim walking steadiness, and obviously that gives you more control, and it slows down your aim walking speed, which means when you're strafing side to side, you've got more accuracy. You don't move as much, you don't move as far, but it gives you a little bit more time to adjust your aim to the side a little bit, which means that you can be more accurate overall in the long run. And that to me is why it's so important to have attachments like that, because you know, it does slow you down a little bit, but it helps you at longer ranges, which is why I said that this gun is very, very good as an all-rounder with this class setup. Moving on to underbarrel, we've got the stipple grip tape, which has recoil control, aiming stability, and it slows down your aim walking movement speed more, and it also slows down your aim down sight. Now, obviously, this gun still aims down sight very quickly, and you still move from side to side fairly quickly because it's an SMG. Your movement speed and everything like that is still very, very good with this weapon, and I guarantee the amount of added accuracy that you get from these attachments is well worth the downsides of not being able to move slightly quicker than you would if you had no attachments or you had all the aim down sight attachments on this. This to me is by far the most all-round best setup for the P90. So let's get into some gameplay with this weapon, showing you guys what it can really do in ground war and what it can do in any other mode when you're running about and rushing with it, because I did really, really well in lots of games yesterday and it was a lot of fun to use, and we finally got it gold, so I'm going to be putting it away and grabbing onto some new weapons to use that I need to get gold, obviously, for the Road to Damascus series. So, jumping right in to the gameplay, let's see how we do.
Enemy UAV overhead. Taking Delta.
Changing. Changing back. Nine. All right.
Enemies at Delta. Go. We won Charlie. Enemy UAV